If you think that just stretching will help you relieve the discomfort you have in your psoas muscle, let me tell you that you're completely wrong. To put it in context, we spend more than 7 hours a day sitting, with that muscle shortened of course, but also inactive. That inactivity causes significant muscle atrophy, which means that with the slightest effort, that muscle enters a cycle of spasm and shortening. So let's turn the tables, and instead of stretching, which only provides short-term relief, let's focus on strengthening. Today I'm bringing you 6 exercise variations where we'll work the muscle from a very shortened position to a very stretched one, so you can choose the one that best suits your abilities and how you feel. The last one is especially enjoyable because we work it eccentrically. You don't need anything in particular to perform these exercises. A chair, a resistance band for one of the variations, a sofa or a bed. And I also grabbed a paper plate here, which you can replace with a sheet of paper, just to be able to slide your foot on the floor. So let's set all this aside and start with variation number 1. Place the chair sideways in front of you, so that you can rest your hand on the backrest. Next, place the opposite leg on the chair, keeping the following in mind. If the chair is lower, the exercise is easier. If the chair is higher, the exercise is a little bit more difficult. Let's stand up straight, pushing our chest up as much as possible, and let's focus on our right leg. What we want to do is lift that leg just a few centimeters, almost nothing, off the chair. So let's focus, lift it up a little, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. You see, small range but great intensity, and we're working in the groin area. We're going to repeat the exercise 10 times, and then I'll show you a way to make it a little more challenging. Again, sit up straight, take a breath, and as you exhale, pull in your belly button, lift your leg, and hold it throughout the entire exhalation. 2, I take a breath. 3, exhale, lift a little, just about 2 centimeters off the chair. 3, and you will quickly notice how that tension, that strengthening effect shows up in the groin area. Release. 3. 3. Very upright. Exhale. Pull in your belly button. Lift that leg. Release. 4. Inhale. It's important that you focus on moving your hip, that the movement happens here, and that you don't lean back to lift your foot, but rather that it's your leg itself that's working, contracting in the groin area. You'll easily notice it as a contraction in front of your hip. 5, and for the next 5, if you feel good, if it's easy to do, you can grab a water bottle that you can fill as you like. That's the good thing about water bottles. You can fill them however you like. If it's 1.5 liters, you can fill it with 0.5 liter to start, to add a bit of weight to the exercise and make it more challenging. Sit up straight again, take a breath, lean on your chair, and exhale. And I lift that foot. That's great. 6, with a small set of 10 repetitions, we can already notice a big effect on the muscles. 7. Notice great ones. 7, 15, 24, 25. 8. 9, one last repetition. 10, perfect. Lower your leg, breathe, walk a little, and write down how you felt. Easy, hard, was there any pain? Now let's move on to the second variation where we raise the bar a little. For the second variation, we make it a bit more dynamic. If the first exercise worked the psoas in a very shortened position, now we're adding more range of motion. Grab a bottle, a book, something small that helps us challenge ourselves. To do it comfortably, look, I suggest sitting on the floor with your back against the wall. You could also do it without support, but it's more demanding on your lower back. We're going to work on the right leg. In this variation, I'm going to bend my left leg and leave my right leg completely supported. It's a hip flexion and knee extension exercise, so you might also feel it in your quadriceps. From here, we're going to do the following. I want you to bring your toes toward you and lift your leg. How much? Just a few centimeters off the ground, and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lower it down. You might notice that those muscles shake, that it's hard to hold for 5 seconds. That's okay. The shaking is normal. It's a sign that we're fatiguing, working the muscle to its maximum, and if you can't hold for 5 seconds, you can do 3, 2, or even just 1 second. Let's get to work and do 10 repetitions. I'll turn a bit to the side, that's better. Let's go for it. Lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. If it's too hard for you, moving your buttocks a little away from the wall can help, which makes the muscle stretch a bit more. Inhale at the bottom, exhale. 2. We exhale. 3, 1. We exhale. 3. 4. Come on, let's do 5 and then I'll show you a way to make it harder. 1. 5. Now we take the bottle, place it lying down at heel level, and what we're going to do is go over it, touch the floor, and go back over. This adds a small lateral movement to the exercise. You should feel it, as I said, in the front of your thigh or even in your right groin. Legs straight, toes pointing toward me. I inhale, and as I exhale, I not only lift but also move to the opposite side. Touch down. Exhale. Touch down. Exhale. Touch. That's 3. 4. And 5. And there's a higher level for the more daring ones. I'm going to see if I can make it, although I have a feeling I won't. We place that bottle vertically. Now there's much more range, much more difficulty, and basically it's the same. We lift the leg, go over, and then let it drop. Here, obviously, there's a bit of cheating because the farther the bottle is from the wall, the easier it will be. I'm just going to do 3 more so you can see. We take a breath at the bottom. We exhale. We switch. Good contraction of the psoas. We inhale, more movement, more range. We switch. 1 more. We release. And we set it down. We rest. And we write down how you felt about this second variation. Harder, easier, felt better, or worse. And we move on to variation number 3. In this third variation, we're going to do the exercise either on the floor or on the bed. It's important to get something to support your head, like a pillow or a water bottle. In this variation, we increase the difficulty a bit and add much more range so that the psoas works in a different range of motion. Let's lie on our backs and rest your head on your beloved pillow. We're going to bring the left leg, which is the one we aren't working on, as close as possible to the left shoulder. This helps us stabilize the lower back area so there's no pain or risk. And next, we stretch the leg completely. We're going to feel it working in your quadriceps. That's normal, but you should also feel it in the groin and psoas area. If you feel pain in your lower back while doing this, you can roll up the towel several times and place it right here at the lower back to support your spine. Point your toes toward me, take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's make sure it's visible. We're going to raise that leg up to about 45 degrees. Hold it throughout the entire exhalation, and then slowly lower it down, which also works the thigh eccentrically. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, and lift up. 2. I take a breath, that heel touches the floor, and then we lift up. 3. You might hear a crack in your hip or lower back area. Don't be alarmed if it's not accompanied by pain. 4. And honestly, your leg gets tired quickly. It's impressive how the psoas is one of the most atrophied muscles. 5. Come on, let's do 5 more. Exhale. 6. Keep that left knee well anchored to protect your lower back. Release. 7. 3 more. 8. Move. And 10. Slowly lower down, support yourself, relax. I can put my feet down and make a rocking motion. Very good. A new challenge with greater range. I invite you to write down what your sensations have been, how difficult it was for you, if any pain appeared, and let's stand up again with the chair for the next variation. For the fourth variation, we are going to work with a small resistance band. We start to introduce much more movement little by little to make it more and more challenging. We start in a very shortened position, and little by little we work that muscle through a greater stretch. You can use a resistance band to make the exercise a bit more challenging, but if you don't have one at home, that's okay. You can still do the exercise. Pay close attention. I'm going to grab my resistance band and do a demonstration. Into a loop, so that the resistance band has some tension. I'm going to place this on the floor and put my left foot over the ends here to secure the resistance band to the floor. Look, now I have it secured and I have a loop flat against the floor. On the other side, I put my other foot in. How tight that circle is will determine how much resistance the exercise has. A very tight, very small circle will be more demanding than a wider one. From here, pay close attention. We're going to sit up very straight, chest up, looking forward. We lean forward a little on the chair and take a breath. And as you exhale, I want you to lift your right leg, which is the one we're working on, upwards, and you felt it, right? That resistance band adds a lot of resistance and makes the psoas work harder. We're going to do 10 repetitions with the right leg, and then we'll move on to the fifth variation. Stand up straight, chest out, take a breath, and as you exhale, pull your belly button in to engage your core and lift. 1. It's important in this exercise to pull your abs in as much as possible to protect your lower back and work the psoas more in isolation. 2. Release. 3. If you can lift your leg high, perfect. If you can only lift it a little, just up to here, that's also perfect. If you can lift it a lot, that's also perfect. The only trick is to keep your lower back neutral. There's no point in lifting your leg high if I lean forward and round my back. Try to keep your chest up and your lower back neutral. The moment you see your back starting to round as you lift, that's not good. We don't want that kind of movement. We want it to stay isolated at the hip. We've done 4. Let's do 6 more. Let go. 5. 2 and 6. 7. 8. 9. One more. 10. I'm going to do one more, feeling really good. 11. Very good work for the hip area in this very demanding fourth variation. Let's pick up the elastic band. If you don't have an elastic band, as I said, you can do it anyway, although it feels a little different. Always remember not to round forward, because here we would be flexing your lower back. The next one is a variation that I really like, but at the same time it's very demanding on the lower back. To do it, we're going to have to lie down. Or on the edge of the sofa or bed, that works too. It's important that you move your buttocks right to the edge, exactly to those bones we lean on when we sit down. And that we lie down on our backs. Very similar to what we did in the previous exercise. We're going to bring the left leg up toward the shoulder and chest. Let's place a small cushion under our head, much better. And we're going to stretch the opposite leg toward the floor. So, as you can see here, we're no longer starting from a lying position where the hip and the foot are at the same level. Instead, we're going even further, creating a stretching position even at the level of the psoas. But that's not what we want to do. We want to strengthen it. From here, we're going to take a breath and do a full movement. We're no longer lifting the leg straight up. Instead, we're bringing that knee toward the right shoulder. Contracting the psoas in practice and through its entire range of motion when we lower the leg very slowly until it touches. I don't want you to let it drop due to gravity, and if your lower back bothers you, you can roll up a small towel, a little cushion, and place it right at the level of your vertebrae in the space between your spine and the couch. If it causes you a lot of pain, this variation is not for you. And obviously, you should choose any of the other options we've seen. Let's do 10 repetitions together, slowly so you can see it very well. Leg extended, arms resting on your left knee. I take a breath. And as I exhale, I bring my right knee as close as I can to my right shoulder. Huge contraction at the level of the psoas. 1. A very large range of motion. The heel touches down. I bring that knee toward my chest. Maximum contraction. 2. You're going to feel it especially in the groin, inside that cavity around the pelvis. 3. And if you can't do 10, because it's very demanding, that's okay. Do a little less. And we bring the knee up slowly. 4. We lower slowly, breaking down the movement. We touch at the top. 5. There may be some joint noise, some cracking. The hip may go crack, crack, some tendon that snaps. Don't worry as long as it's not accompanied by pain. 6. I have 4 left. I touch down. I'm already pretty fatigued. 7. We touch. 8. Nice and big. We touch. 9, 7. We go down, we touch. And 10, impressive work from the psoas. A little tip for you. If your hip cracks a lot, I suggest you try different external rotations. Usually when you place your foot more inward, pointing your toes inward, your hip cracks less. When you place it more outward, it cracks a little more. So try to find that hip rotation that causes less clicking. But anyway, as long as there's no pain, you have nothing to worry about. Take a breath, you've earned it. That was a very high level of difficulty. Let's finish with the last one, which for me is the best of all. We finish with my favorite exercise, the slider or backward slide, for which we will need either a sheet of paper or a cardboard or plastic plate. For me, this exercise is the best of all, since it works the muscle in a way that no other exercise does. Remember that we start with a very shortened position, then we move to a more natural position. And in this last one, we're going to take that muscle to a maximum stretch and an eccentric contraction. That means the muscle works while it's being stretched at the same time. Place that chair firmly in front of you, make sure it's stable, and hold on to it securely to support your movement. Put the front of your foot on the plate. Let's stand up straight, looking forward, supported by the chair. And from here, pay close attention. The right leg goes backward, opening the angle at the level of the spine and the hip. Stretching the entire psoas while working the muscle, since we're controlling the movement. Once we're down and you've gone as far as you can, you come back up slowly in a concentric phase. It's more demanding and also requires a strong left leg. Try it. You don't need to go as far as I did. I exaggerated it a lot so you could see it clearly, and honestly the feeling is amazing. You can work on it in smaller ranges to feel safe. Because the priority is always to feel safe doing the exercise. Let's do 10 repetitions together, and I obviously will try to go a little farther each time I take a breath. I slide back as far as I can. Exhale. 1. Keep your toes on the ground. I take a breath. I don't bend. Chest up. Subtitles. Exhale. And notice how the angle between my spine and my leg keeps opening up more and more. That feels really good. Incredible. 3. For me, one of the best exercises to finish the workout, as long as you can do it. 4. 5. 6. 7. Very good. It seems that the more you do it, the further you want to go. 8. Last 2. 9. Very far. And 10. Impressive, honestly. Incredible work from the right psoas. Dosage, instructions for doing all this, I recommend you take notes. Out of the 6 we're doing, 2 or 3 exercises that work well for you are more than enough. Take those exercises and do them in 3 to 4 sets of 10 repetitions. We have done 1 set of 10 repetitions for each of the exercises. And with that, you would already have a very good routine to start strengthening your psoas and leave behind those passive stretches that only give you very short-term relief. Strengthening not only of the psoas but also of the gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus, and the hip muscles is extremely important, just like mobility and stability are. These are the 3 pillars of exercise that I teach during Hip Week. A small 7-day event that will help you recognize your pain and understand how the therapeutic dose works. This is key to knowing the level of difficulty of the exercises you need to do and to discover a lot of variations to improve your quality of life and your hip health. If you're interested, I'll just leave a little card for you up here in the top right corner. You go in, purchase the event, and you have those recordings for life. That's all. I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me until the end of the video. I hope you took note of each one of them, and of course I hope you come back to my channel to keep working on your quality of life. Take care. Bye, friends.